In this week's Sheila's Own, Dr. Kyle's at it again, Brad's in a jam, Toadie's online romp, and who will Vera choose? Sheila's Own, all the goss, all the dirt, out now.
You know she's going to pick me, right?
Whatever. You said that about Billy Kennedy and look what happened there.
You cheap tramp.
You cow.
Neighbors. Everybody needs good neighbors. That's when good neighbors become good friends.
Hello.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Ben.
And we are
the Neighbors.
Welcome back, Ben.
Freedom. Oh, the bars have gone. Oh, I'm no longer doing the cell block tango with Annie, Alice and Patrice.
Pop, sit, squish, Cicero, lip shits. Pop, sit, squish, Cicero, lip shits.
You look a little bit distracted today, Benj. Can I just say that? Have you got something on your mind, love?
Yeah. Adultery.
Adultery. Oh, Bab. It's like 50 Shades of Grey down Erinsborough way at the minute.
Oh, I know everyone's favourite COVID-secure adulterers. Pearson Booker. I mean, and what she can do with a belt.
Oh, it's like showgirls, isn't it? It's like Jessie from Saved by the Bell doing a little showgirl number.
The needle on it, 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 the needle on it.
I don't want you to stop.
Anyway.
It's all very intense, isn't it? And I'm loving these like COVID restrictions, meaning they can't just jump their bones on each other. Dippy and Pierce, it's a bit Christ on a bike. I feel like Therese when she's in the day spa with Leo.
Yeah, it's very, very hot and steamy. Strip teasers. I mean, Dippy. Who knew Dippy loved to strip tease? We're getting a real insight into her psyche, aren't we?
Babes, one word, flapper. She is pulling it out of the bag, I think. The showdown, when it all comes out, is going to be iconic Neighbours.
Chloe,
It's only taken her 3 years to get her own story, but she's really sinking her teeth into it.
Yeah, I'm here for more Dippy stories, I must admit.
Definitely.
So, Ben, what are your favourite affair stories?
I'd say one of the earliest love triangle affair cheating storylines I remember is Scott and Jane.
It's no secret, it's no secret.
Plain Jane Superbrain making a move on a married man. And not just any married man, her best friend's married man. Charlene's beloved Scott Robinson.
I know. And to think she's the belle of the ball at the minute, isn't she? But blimey, back in the day.
As soon as she took those glasses off, she was hot to trot.
Ta-da! Jane. Well, what do you think?
Oh, she was a right horn dog, wasn't she? She had Shane,
She had Mike and
Dirty Des.
Well, what do you know? 2 months ago, poor old Plain Jane couldn't get a boyfriend. Now there's Mike, there's Shane. How many others have you got hanging around? Oh, come on, you make me sound awful.
that weird old American dude she got engaged to with the tash.
Yeah, that was the thing in the 80s, wasn't it? If anyone American came to town who was rich, just give them a tash. But then, yes, she planted the old lips on Scott Robinson.
remember, however old I was at the time,
Older than me.
I was furious because I was so invested in Scott and Charlene as a couple. I was so angry. I hated Jane. I mean, it's only recently I've learned to forgive.
Considering all it was a little kiss on a park bench,
Yeah,
it evoked the emotion in you, didn't it?
it really did. Kylie Minogue gave a really standout performance when she found out about Scott. It was incredible. She slapped him. He shoved her on the bed.
And then didn't she say something along the lines of, because he was going to walk out, and she was like, if you walk out that door, it's over.
If you walk out that door, our marriage is over.
That's your decision.
And do you know what distracted me from that scene? There was one thing, because it was an incredible scene, but in Scott and Charlie's bedroom, they had the weirdest kind of setup. They had the gigantic Pink Panther sat in the corner and some weird, humongous doll. I mean, for a pair of hip teenagers, they had the bedroom of a 9-year-old.
Yeah, but that was freaking good, that affair. And it was a brave move because Charlene and Scott were such a love couple. So to put the best friend in the mix was pretty brave, but it paid off. And hey, we're still talking about it. Maybe Nicolette needs to remind Jane of that.
Either Jane needs to offer some advice to Nicolette about breaking up a marriage, or not to, or Nicolette should say, hey, Mum, remember that time you stole your best friend's husband?
People in glass houses, Mrs. Harris, people in glass houses.
Being a naughty girl, real bad, so.
Well, for me, we've got the Scully sibling drama of the century when Steph Scully fell for Mark Lambert. Do you remember?
Yeah.
The heir to Lassiter's at the time. Flick decided that she wanted a piece of him, and they embarked on that illicit tete-a-tete behind poor Steph's back. Because we knew that they'd met, but they didn't know who each other were. So it was only then when Steph introduced him to Fliss, Fliss was like, oh, hello, I know you.
Surely that was the time for her to kind of like say to her big sister, you know what, you might want to rethink this guy. For a start, I don't think he knows how to change a tire.
Yeah, but then perhaps, Steph was just plugging for anyone, wasn't she, because she couldn't get Pua Drew.
True, yeah. She'd take anything just to kind of get her over the hump of not having Drew. I'm sure there's some sort of double entendre there.
Disgusting!
So she fell anyway for this charming, I mean, who can blame her? Because, he was all right on the eye, wasn't he? And it all kind of was building up to this wedding day, and it felt like a really classic Neighbours wedding. And then you had that fantastic moment at the wedding when it was all eyes, wasn't it? Like Mark, silence, looking at Flick, looking at Mark, Steph, looking at Mark, looking at Flick, Lynn looking at all over the place, Joe's eyes all over the place. It was just eyeball. Whose eyes who? I don't bloody know.
Yeah. And I think that this story cemented the Scullys into the history of the show and demonstrated what a formidable family they could be. Because that street showdown between Flick and Steph.
Wait! You're a liar! Let me explain.
You're a liar! Listen! Why? Say to say! I am such an idiot. I didn't guess. I should have known that's what you'd do. Princess Flick! You always have to have what you want. Always!
Because we didn't really have catfights in the show back then. It was very rare. So when they did happen, it was great. And this one was a well-deserved, because all the seeds had been planted. So we were waiting for this moment when Steph and Fliss were just going to absolutely go for each other. And boy, they did.
Don't tell me it just happened! It happened because you let it happen! Because you are too low and too selfish to stop it! I know!
Iconic.
Oh,
Another one I always remember is when Paul cheated on his wife, Christina. And we know Paul is a serial adulterer now. There isn't a wife, apart from Therese, yet.
You've had more weddings than hot dinners. You probably cheated on every one of those women.
But his second wife, Christina, he cheated on her with her twin sister, Caroline.
I mean, it's another sibling
Oh, they do
double
love
dipping, isn't it?
Did you say a double dipping? Oh.
Disgusting!
Most of these affairs are based on a kiss. Yeah, Paul and
They're not very dippy, these affairs, are they? They're not very dippy. That's the barometer of the affairs level, isn't it?
Paul and Caroline had always had some sort of like attraction connection between them because they got on very well on a business level. So a lot more in common than Paul did with Christina, who was just obsessed with becoming a model. She ended up being a hand model, didn't she? So, but Paul had succumbed one evening to Caroline's allure.
Wasn't it initially a misunderstanding that he thought she was Christina? There was an initial moment when, I don't know, Paul was asleep on the sofa or something and Caroline was over him and he kissed her thinking it was Christina.
Knew you'd miss me.
Paul, it's me.
Caroline.
But it was the way Christina found out that was the old baby monitor. So I swear it's been imitated several times in other soaps.
That ain't true.
Don't lie to me.
Tiffany is the love of my life. I never knew it till now, but I'm never going to forget it.
So why were we nearly kissing again the other night?
Because there's something between us, you know there is.
Don't give me that. You just used me for sex when she wasn't giving you any.
Yeah, so Christina's there hanging out the washing. That's how you hang out washing, in my world.
She's pegging.
And she overhears Helen of all people. And Helen's kind of on the side of don't tell Christina.
Well, normally I'd be the last person to advise anyone to be untruthful, but in this case, what she doesn't know.
We remember her as all moralistic and righteous, but...
And do you remember how angry people got when the whole Ramsey retcon, when it was woven into the story that Helen had covered up an affair between Max Ramsey and Anne Robinson? And people were like, oh, she'd never do that. Well, we'd seen her do that.
I mean, to be fair, there's that many illegitimate kids kicking about in that Robinson family tree.
Who can blame her? She probably forgot most of the stuff she was covering.
It's all the paint fumes.
Helen Daniels, the paint sniffer.
But anyway...
So Christina found out over the baby monitor.
Yes, because you felt guilty about what happened between you and Caroline, you let her have it.
We better go inside.
No, wait.
Gran, I'd just as soon that you didn't mention this ever again. Well, if Chrissy found out, it would shatter her, you know that.
Cue dramatic showdown. Christina slapping Paul, kicking him out of the house.
Oh, no, come on, please.
Don't touch me.
Listen, Chrissy, getting us there.
Get out, Christina.
It was just incredible.
Because this was part of the start of all the departure of the three of them anyway. Gail and Gillian were off to do a little Top of the Pops stint with a dandruff deal.
Oh, that classic song.
Oh, bring them back.
Because Caroline left before Christina found out about the kiss. So them coming back last year was kind of an opportunity, because there was a brief scene of Caroline and Christina talking about that cheating moment.
Your affair with Paul.
That was 30 years ago.
Finally get them addressing the elephant in the room.
And it was a bloody big elephant, wasn't it, by that point?
Elephants never forget.
I'm cold and I am shamed, lying naked on the floor.
So Ben, any other love triangles?
Well, yes. Funnily enough, you should mention that. And do you know what got me thinking? It was all the eyes. I tell you what, another wedding that was a bit like that was when Brad and Beth got married. because the same thing happened there where Brad and Beth's walking down the aisle and she's clocked that something's going on between old Lauren Mark 1 and Brad Mark 1. She's got suspicions, and all of a sudden Brad's there looking at Lauren, Lauren's looking at Beth. It's the eyes again. Amazing. And that was a really long drawn out build up to that as well. Another one, because that Brad had fallen for Lauren the second he saw her when she was galloping on a horse down the beach.
Didn't they sleep together there and then?
It was very Home and Away, that, wasn't it? Sex on the beach.
I wanna have sex on the beach. Come on, move your body. Sex on the beach.
What else?
Brad and Beth seemed so devoted to each other. I mean, bless, she'd lost a big V to Brad, hadn't she? Do you remember in the caravan?
Yeah.
So, she'd entrusted him with that. And then what does he do? He takes it and then goes and steals Loz's. Well, we don't know that.
Well, I think the insinuation Lauren was a wisely woman, a woman of the world. Typical man.
And I think that was one of the first big affair stories that Neighbours had done. I mean, there'd been the odd kind of smooch or oops-a-daisy moment, but this was a really well-timed in it for the long game.
But in fact, they all had chlamydia, didn't they? They all had...
I've got pelvic inflammatory disease. It's caused by chlamydia. Do you know what that is?
Some sort of woman's problem, I guess.
It's a man's problem too, if he gets it. Which in your case is extremely likely.
Didn't Pam see Lauren at the hospital when she was getting tested? And I think there was a scene after they found out about the affair where Pam went, "Oh God, the chlamydia."
Classic line from Pam Willis.
Oh my God, chlamydia.
And then who would have thought anyway that would have gone off the boil for a couple of decades and then came back a few years later. Granted, they all had new heads, but it paved the way for the story for Brad and Lauren to reunite again in another affair, but with the whole Paige thrown into the mix. And that to me was another tremendous affair, storyline that led to, God, we all know how much we all love Therese. It kind of brought her into the mix as well.
My favourite bit of that affair was Therese using a jam jar as a weapon.
I trusted you. I know. You were supposed to be my friend.
Therese, will you just let me explain?
They did her a favour. She was well shot of him.
He weighed her down. Now, the only thing weighing her down is her shoulder pads.
Can I just say, we are both rocking these Dynasty shoulder pads. Yes, so we are.
Free as a river. Free as a river.
Well, we can't talk about the affairs gone by without mentioning that. The reveal when Susan found out that her husband Carl had cheated on her with his young receptionist. Again, another moment that stood the test of time.
And actually, what's hilarious is on the Dippy scale of affairs, it's right down there, isn't it? Well, at the time, I know it was retconned a few years later, it was just a quick pash on the desk at the doctor's surgery.
It was revealed upon one of Sarah's returns that night before Susan found out, when they both spent the night at the motel, they did sleep together because it was left kind of in the air for viewers.
Okay, I'll say goodnight then.
Yeah.
14 years ago, we sat in marriage counselling and I told you that Sarah and I had only kissed. And I lied. We slept together.
Well, didn't Susan find out, was it on Phil and Ruth's wedding day?
Yeah.
That reveal really gave old Jackie Woodburn the chance to really show off those acting muscles, because boy, did she pull it out of that bag, spin it around and whip it on its head.
It really did. It was such a moment.
Oh, here's to the slap.
All right, Ben.
Yes, Ben.
As tradition.
Oh, I love this part of the game. I love it. Every time, bring it on. Love it.
So what's the score for this season at the moment? 3-0, isn't it? So we're going to have a little quick quiz based on affairs. So I'm going to show you a picture of a love triangle with one person, their view obscured. You have to guess who that person is, the year of the affair, and how the affair was revealed.
How many points do I get?
So 3 points at stake.
This could finish me off.
Here is your picture.
I don't know where Doug's hands are there, considering the face I'm pulling. Right. So, Pam and Doug, that red hair, I mean, it looks like Beverly Robinson now. But that's Jill Weir.
1 point, yeah.
Who Doug had a fling with.
I'm lonely too, Doug. Want some company?
Because he thought Pam was having a bit of jiggy jigs with Jim Robinson.
Willis House? Hello?
Could you? Pam had her suspicions, but I think Doug confessed because Jill was going around telling everyone that Doug was going to move in with her. So Doug confessed.
Incorrect. You still got a chance for one more point.
And it was 93 in the UK.
2 points. I'll leave you that. 2 points. Pam found out because Jill told her. Scarlett O'Brady had nothing on Jill Weir. Jill Weir was up here. Scarlett O'Brady was down here, like faking your death and all that, whatever.
Yes, she was.
Hello, Doug.
What are you doing here?
Oh, didn't Pam tell you? I'm living here now.
But I got 2 points, Ben.
You did. Well done.
Oh my God, back in the game. Okay, Ben, are you ready for your picture?
Well, this is a tough one because Paul cheated on Rebecca how many times?
Well, Rebecca cheated on him as well, didn't she too?
She did, yeah. So I just need to be certain that this is Paul's indiscretion. I can see a tiny bit of blonde hair. I think I know who this is. This is Kirsten, mother of Mickey, the ex of Ned Parker. The year of the affair was, oh God, I'm going to say 2008.
Correct.
And how it was exposed, I know that I have a feeling Lynn was involved because Lynn came back as a poison pen person. She was blackmailing Paul, telling him that she was going to expose the affair. Paul may have covered that up. How did it come out? I don't know. Paul left Kirsten for dead in the big bushfire of 2008. But did... I'm going to say Rebecca found out that Lynn was blackmailing Paul about the affair.
Sorry, Ben. Close, so close. Lynn confided in Susan, who then went and had a little word with Rebecca.
Oh, Rebecca, I'm so sorry. Paul's been having an affair.
Oh, man. I knew Lynn was involved somehow.
She's always involved, Queen Lenny.
Oh, so it's a nice draw.
Oh, well, to celebrate me finally getting 2 points, give us a subscribe. You know you want to.
Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time. I mean, the only way to kind of end this episode is for Mrs. Punt to decide which one of us she's going to choose. It's time.
Come on, Punty.
If this can't be done properly,